I've still got my first ever electric guitar, and I've mentioned this before. I've painted it multiple times. It was a Strat with a floating bridge, but I filled the bridge and the hole for the bridge, the route for the bridge, and just to practice doing that on a guitar. So I've definitely abused that one and kept it and used it over and over again. And I quite enjoy that is my, like, it's had this journey with me through playing and now building.
My first guitar has a story. I have it now, but yeah, it's a story. Kind of a long story, but short version. I'd had it for a few years. It was the first one I played for a few years, and moved to Kansas, and I sold it to a friend, and he sold it to some friend of his, and he sold it to some, and I don't know how many friends it went through. And after, I don't know, 15, 20 years, it wound up back to that first friend. And when my brother came down for Christmas a couple of years ago, he sent that guitar with him.
Oh,
so my first guitar went all over Kansas and somehow came back to me. And oh my God, it was trash. The headstock had been broke at one point. I mean, it was not a good guitar to start with, but it was garbage when it got back to me. So I had this idea. I'll just strip all the hardware off, and I'll use that hardware, build a new one, and it'll be like a reincarnation of my first guitar. And I went to take the bridge off, and the block on the trim just crumbled, and I haven't been able to find a replacement. So it's just sitting in pieces in the corner of the shop. But I do have my first guitar.
Yeah, I've got most of my first guitar. I don't have the body, but I've got the neck and all the. I don't forgot the bridge anymore. Pickups and bits and pieces of it. Was pulled apart for different projects, and the body the body was incorporated to some other projects that were non-guitar related, and I've still got that. I actually made a body for it just out of a lump of wood that I had hanging around, and just that was in my cigar box guitar sort of days. So I pretty much made like a small body and used cheap parts just to see if I could get it working again with the different pickups. So yeah, I've got bits of my first one around still.
Eric's asking what my guitar was. It was a Celebrity Ovation. For a real short time, they did some electrics, and who knows?
Yeah, I had no idea what fret wire was or how it was installed. I'd never even considered play guitar for so long, never looked at it and realized that someone cut into the neck and then hammered in some wire to it.
Yeah. Well, that was like the first revelation for me when somebody, I was doing other stuff, and somebody asked if I'd looked into cigar box guitars, and I'm like, what the hell is that? And I had to Google it, and I was like, holy shit, it never occurred to me that you could just order fret wire and do this stuff. I mean, it makes perfect sense. People repair guitars all day long. I just never thought about it.
Yeah. Always felt like there was an extra little bit of magic you needed to make a guitar.
Yeah. You can't just do this in your garage. You have to have
machines, computers, scientists.
Yeah. A Fender factory.
Yeah. Yeah, that's been eye-opening, actually, seeing the quality of guitars that come out of the factories compared to ones that we can make. And how just the extra time and care on things like fretwork and getting the neck carved feeling really nice can make them feel a whole lot nicer than like $1,000 guitars you buy from big names that frets aren't in even legal level.
Yeah.
Yeah. But with the guitar building, I've seen the same process, thing done with lots of different techniques or different processes, like different ways to put your frets in, different ways to mark something up, different ways to do a certain type of finish on your guitar. And by watching so many different people, it helps you realize what is the right one for you because of either the way you work or the tools you've got or the amount of money you've got to spend.